Hey guys, before I even start, I need you to know this actually happened to me. Like, this is my real house, my real footage, my real life. And right now I'm sitting in my car at 3 a.m. typing this, because I'm too scared to be inside. Okay, deep breath. Let's go back to how it all started. My name is Kaylee. I'm 28, I work from home doing graphic design, and I live alone in a little two-bedroom house on a quiet street in the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio. I moved in about 14 months ago. It's one of those 1950s brick ranch houses with the big picture window in the front and the long driveway that curves around back. Nothing fancy, but it's mine, and I love it. Or, I used to love it. A normal day for me looks pretty much the same. I wake up around 7:30, make coffee, feed my cat Machi, then sit at my desk in the living room and work until 5 or 6. I take Machi for a short walk around the block at lunch, order groceries online because I hate the store, and usually watch Netflix on the couch until I fall asleep. Super boring adult life, right? But the last couple of weeks, something has felt off. Not big things, just tiny stuff that sits in the back of your brain and itches. Like, the street has always been quiet, but lately it's been too quiet. No dogs barking, no kids riding bikes, no Amazon trucks. Even the birds seem to have disappeared. I noticed it one morning when I was drinking coffee on the front porch. I sat there for 20 minutes and didn't hear a single car pass. It felt like the whole neighborhood was holding its breath. Machi started acting weird too. He's normally the most clingy cat on the planet. He follows me room to room like a dog. But suddenly, he won't come into the living room anymore. He just sits at the doorway and stares at my desk with his ears flat. When I call him, he looks at me like I'm crazy and walks away. I thought maybe he was sick, so I took him to the vet. Vet said he's perfectly healthy. Great. Then there's the stairs. I swear people have been looking at me funny. The mailman, he's delivered to this street for years. Usually waves and says, "Morning, Kaylee." Now when he drops the mail, he barely glances at the house. Yesterday he walked up, put the mail in the box, and turned around so fast he almost tripped. Didn't say a word. Same with the old lady across the street, Mrs. Henderson. She used to water her flowers every evening and chat with me over the fence. Last week I waved, and she froze mid-wave. She looked at me for 3 full seconds, like she was studying my face, then turned and hurried inside without a word. I stood there feeling like an idiot. I told myself I was being paranoid. Work stress, not enough sleep, too much caffeine, whatever. Then came the first thing I couldn't explain. It was a Wednesday night, about 11:30. I was locking up like I always do, deadbolt, chain, check the back door, turn off the lights. I have a Ring doorbell camera and 2 floodlight cams, one in the driveway, one in the backyard, because I'm a single girl living alone, okay? Sue me. I opened the Ring app to set the alarm mode, and I always do a quick scroll through the day's motion clips. Normal stuff. Me leaving for Machi's vet appointment, Amazon guy, couple squirrels, whatever. But at 3:17 a.m. the night before, Tuesday night into Wednesday, there was a 14-second clip I had never seen. The floodlight in the backyard clicked on. The camera showed my whole fenced backyard perfectly clear because of the motion light. Empty. Trash cans, patio chairs, Machi's little catio thing I built him. Everything exactly where it should be. But in the very back corner, right up against the fence, there was a person. Not walking. Not moving at all. Just standing completely still, facing the camera. Hoodie up, hands in pockets, head slightly tilted. The floodlight is bright, 1,800 lumens, so I could clearly see the shape of a grown adult. But the face, the hood was pulled so low and the head was tilted in a way that the light didn't hit the face at all. It was just black inside the hood, like a hole. They stood there for 10 full seconds without moving a muscle. Then the floodlight timed out. The yard went dark, and the clip ended. My stomach dropped. I checked the app again. Yep, motion detected, no sound, no notification sent to my phone because I had the sensitivity turned down a little at night, so raccoons don't wake me up. I told myself it was probably just a neighbor cutting through the yard or something. But nobody cuts through my yard. The fence is 6 feet tall with a locked gate. And nobody stands perfectly still in the dark for 10 seconds staring at the house. I couldn't sleep after that. I triple-checked every lock, turned on every light, and sat on the couch with Machi, who still refused to come into the living room, until the sun came up. I figured I'd look at the footage again in the morning when I wasn't half asleep and freaking myself out. That was my first mistake. I rewatched my Ring camera last night. Now I'm afraid to sleep. True scary story. Part 2. Creepy signs. Tension builds. The next few days were rough. I kept telling myself it was just one weird person in the yard, probably some drunk teenager messing around. But every little noise made me jump. I started leaving the TV on all night just so the house didn't feel so quiet. Then the staring got worse. Thursday morning I took Machi for his walk like normal. As soon as I stepped onto the sidewalk, I saw the mailman again. He was 2 houses down, putting letters in boxes. When he noticed me, he stopped dead, just stood there holding the mail and stared. Not a friendly stare, like he was trying to figure out if I was really me. I gave a little wave and said, "Hey," like an idiot. He didn't wave back. He quickly looked down, shoved the rest of the mail in the box, and speed walked back to his truck. The engine was already running, and he peeled out before I even reached the corner. That same day, I had to run to Target for cat food. I swear every person I passed turned to look at me. Not glance, look. Like full head turn, eyes locked on me until I passed. An old man in the parking lot, a mom with 2 kids, even the cashier. When she handed me my receipt, she held eye contact way too long and said, "Have a nice day, Kaylee," in this flat voice. I never told her my name. That night I got the first phone call. My phone rang at 2:14 a.m. Unknown number, no caller ID. I let it go to voicemail. No message. 10 minutes later it rang again, same thing. By the 4th call I was wide awake and shaking, so I answered. "Hello." Nothing. Just very light breathing. Not heavy, not creepy movie breathing. Just soft, steady, like someone was holding the phone close to their mouth and waiting. I said, "Who is this?" twice. Still nothing. Then the line went dead. I blocked the number. But the next night, it was a different unknown number. Same thing. Breathing. No words. Then hang up. I started leaving my phone on Do Not Disturb 24/7. Friday I thought I was being followed. I went to the grocery store, first time in weeks, because I was out of coffee and too scared to wait for delivery. In the store I kept seeing the same guy. Tall, gray hoodie, hands in pockets. First he was in the cereal aisle. Then produce. Then when I was checking out, he was 2 lanes over buying 1 single can of soup. I hurried to my car, heart pounding. As I pulled out of the parking lot, I looked in my rearview mirror. He was standing at the edge of the lot, just watching me drive away. I called my best friend Sarah on the way home and told her everything. She listened, but I could tell she thought I was losing it. "Kaylee, you've been cooped up working from home too long. You're just anxious. Come stay at my place for a few days." I told her no, I didn't want to leave Machi. She sighed and said, "At least call the police and make a report about the backyard guy." I said I would. I didn't. Because what was I going to say? Someone stood in my yard, and people are looking at me funny? They'd think I was crazy too. Saturday night the footsteps started. I was in bed scrolling TikTok, trying to calm down, when I heard it. Soft thump, thump, thump across the roof. Like slow footsteps walking from the back of the house to the front. I froze. Machi's ears perked up, and he bolted under the bed. The footsteps stopped right above my bedroom. Then silence. I grabbed my phone and opened the Ring app. Nothing on any camera. No motion alerts. I turned on every light in the house and sat in the living room until morning. Sunday was the messages began. First it was an Instagram DM from an account with no picture, username, just random numbers. The message said, "You live at 1427 Maplewood Drive, right?" My address. Exact address. I blocked it immediately. 10 minutes later, a new account. Cute cat. Another one. "He misses you." I went private, turned off DMs from strangers, everything. I finally called my mom crying. She said the same thing as Sarah. "Honey, you're stressed. Maybe see a doctor." Nobody believed me. Monday night was when it got too close. I was making dinner, boxed mac and cheese because I hadn't eaten all day, when the backyard floodlight clicked on. I ran to the kitchen window. Nobody there. Just the empty yard lit up bright white. Then I heard it. A soft knock on the glass of the back door. 3 slow taps. I screamed and dropped the spoon. Machi hissed from the hallway. I grabbed the biggest knife I owned and stood there shaking, staring at the door. The little window in the door was too high for me to see out without standing on my toes, and no way was I getting closer. The knock didn't come again. But when I checked the Ring camera 10 minutes later, there it was, a 7-second clip. The camera showed the back porch perfectly. And clear as day, a pale hand reached into frame from the side and tapped the glass 3 times. Then pulled back out of sight. No body, No face, just the hand. I called the police that time. 2 officers came. They walked around the house, checked the yard, looked at the footage. One of them said, "Could be kids pranking you, ma'am. Or maybe a branch hit the door and your mind filled in the rest." They told me to keep my doors locked and call again if anything else happens. I didn't sleep at all that night. I thought that was the worst it could get. I was so wrong. It's Tuesday night, exactly 1 week after I first saw that figure in the backyard. The police visit did nothing. The knocks stopped for 2 days, the calls stopped, the weird stares stopped. I told myself maybe whoever it was got bored and left me alone. I even slept a little. Stupid. Tonight the power went out at 11:47 p.m. The whole street. I heard the transformer pop somewhere down the block, and everything went black. My laptop died, the Wi-Fi died, the fridge stopped humming. Just total silence and darkness. I grabbed my phone, 37% battery, and turned on the flashlight. Machi was already hiding under the couch. I told myself it was just a normal outage, random outage. I'd just go to bed and wait for it to come back on. But the Ring cameras need Wi-Fi, and the floodlights need power. For the first time in over a year, my house was completely blind. I was walking down the hallway toward my bedroom when I heard the first sound. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging down the siding outside the living room window, right at the level of the glass. My heart slammed so hard I felt it in my throat. I froze in the hallway, phone flashlight shaking in my hand. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It stopped. I turned the light off immediately. I don't know why. I just didn't want whoever was out there to see exactly where I was. The scratching moved. Now it was at the front door. Same rhythm. 3 slow drags. Pause. 3 more. I could hear my own breathing. Loud, fast, wet. I covered my mouth with my sleeve so the sound wouldn't give me away. Then the doorknob rattled. Just once. A soft twist left, then right, like someone testing if it was locked. I backed up until my shoulders hit the hallway wall. My legs were jelly. I slid down to the floor, hugging my knees, trying not to cry out loud. Silence again. 10 seconds. 20. A full minute. I thought maybe they left. Then I heard breathing. Right outside the bedroom window, the one that faces the driveway. Slow, calm breathing. Not through the glass. Closer. Like someone was standing with their mouth an inch from the screen. In, out, in, out. I could actually see the screen move a tiny bit with every exhale, the way it bulges when air pushes it. I bit my hand so hard I tasted blood to keep from screaming. The breathing stopped. Footsteps. Crunching on the gravel driveway, super slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, coming around the house toward the back. I forced myself to stand up. I had to see. I crept to the kitchen on tiptoe, staying low, and peeked around the corner toward the back door. The little window in the door was completely dark, but I could see a shape. Tall, put up, face hidden, just standing on my porch, perfectly still, staring in. The porch is only 4 feet from the door. They were 4 feet away from me. I ducked back, heart exploding. I crawled on my hands and knees into the laundry room, the only room with no windows, and shut the door as quietly as I could. That's when the tapping started on the back door glass again. Tap, tap, tap. Exactly like the night the hand appeared on camera. Only this time I was awake, and the power was out, and there was no camera rolling. Tap, tap, tap. I pressed my back against the dryer, shaking so hard my teeth chattered. I opened my phone with numb fingers and started typing 911, but I had no signal. 0 bars. The outage must have knocked out the cell tower too, or something was blocking it. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Louder. Faster. I squeezed my eyes shut and prayed out loud in a whisper. Please go away. Please go away, please. Everything went quiet. I waited. Counted to 100 in my head. Nothing. I cracked the laundry room door open an inch. Pitch black hallway. No sound at all. I waited another 5 minutes, then crawled out, phone flashlight off, feeling my way toward the front of the house. I was going to grab my car keys and run to the car, drive anywhere, just get out. I reached the living room. Moonlight was coming through the big picture window, just enough to see shapes. And that's when I saw it. The front door was open. Not wide open, just 6 inches. The chain was still on, so someone had pushed as far as the chain would allow, and then stopped. A cold breeze was coming in. I know I locked that door. I know I put the chain on. I stared at that 6-inch gap, too terrified to move. Then, from the darkness outside the door, a hand slowly came into view. Pale. long fingers. It slid in through the gap, palm up, fingers curling like it was reaching for the chain. I couldn't breathe. My chest hurt. The hand felt around, found the chain, and started lifting it, slow, so slow, out of the slot. Metal scraped metal. Tiny clicks. I don't remember deciding to move. I just suddenly bolted. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed the knife from the counter, and sprinted to the garage door. I slammed it behind me, locked it, then ran to my car. I was shaking so bad I dropped the keys twice. Finally got the door open, jumped in, locked it, started the engine. I threw the car in reverse and floored it. In the rearview mirror, as I peeled out of the driveway, I saw the front door of my house. It was now standing all the way open, and someone was walking out, tall, hoodie, slow steps, watching me drive away. I didn't stop until I was 10 miles away, parked under a streetlight at a gas station, crying and hyperventilating. When I finally looked at my phone again, I had one single notification that had come through late. A new motion clip from the backyard Ring camera. The power had come back on the second I left. I opened it with shaking fingers. The clip was only 4 seconds long. It showed the empty backyard, and then a hand reached up from the bottom of the frame, grabbed the camera, and turned it to face the fence so it couldn't see the house anymore. Then the clip ended. I haven't gone back home. That night in the gas station parking lot, I called the police again. They met me at the house at 4 a.m. with flashlights and guns drawn. The front door was closed when they got there, locked, chain on, exactly how I always leave it. No footprints in the dew on the porch. No sign anyone had been inside. The backyard camera was pointed at the fence just like in the clip, but the officer said it could have been the wind. Wind. I showed them all the saved videos. They watched them, nodded, and said, "We'll file a report and increase patrols." Then they left. I didn't go inside. I slept in my car for 3 days. My boss was actually really cool about it. I told him someone tried to break in, and I didn't feel safe. He let me work remote from my parents' house 2 hours away. I packed one suitcase in Machi's carrier and left the same day. I told the landlord I was breaking the lease for safety reasons. He didn't even fight me, just mailed the deposit back 2 weeks later. My family finally believed me once they saw how bad I looked. I hadn't slept more than 20 minutes at a time. I was pale, my hands shook constantly, and every sudden noise made me cry. Mom wanted me to see a therapist. I tried one session. The lady kept saying intrusive thoughts and heightened anxiety. I stopped going. I moved 3 times in 4 months. First, my parents a short-term Airbnb, a studio apartment on the 10th floor of a building with a doorman. Every place I pick now has to have cameras, key fob elevators, and no ground floor windows. I don't walk Machi anymore. I don't answer the door for anyone. I triple-check locks, wedge chairs under doorknobs, and sleep with my car keys in my hand so I can hit the panic button if I need to. I flinch when people stare at me now. I wear hoodies and big sunglasses even inside stores. If anyone stands still too long near me, I leave. I keep the Ring app on my phone even though I don't have the cameras anymore. I just like knowing I can open it and see nothing. I thought the new place, the new city, the new routine would fix it. But last week something small happened. I was getting mail from the lobby boxes. The doorman wasn't at the desk. I opened my box and there was the usual, bills, junk, whatever. But on the very top was a plain white envelope with no stamp, no address, just my first name handwritten in black ink, Kaylee. Inside was a single Polaroid picture. It was my old house, the one I fled, taken from the street at night with a flash. The big picture window is lit up from inside, and you can see the living room couch perfectly. And sitting on the couch, clear as day, is Machi. But Machi has been living with me in the new city for months. The picture was dated on the bottom in the same handwriting, 3 nights ago. I dropped everything and ran upstairs. I checked every camera in my new apartment. Nothing. I called the police here. They came, looked at the photo, asked if I had any enemies. I laughed until I cried. They told me to change the locks again and left. I haven't slept since I got that envelope. I keep thinking about the Ring footage I saved on my laptop, the ones the police watched and then forgot about. Last night, at 2 a.m., I opened the folder for the first time in months. Just to prove to myself it was real. Most of the clips were exactly how I remembered, but one file had a new thumbnail I didn't recognize. It was labeled with yesterday's date. I clicked it. It's 12 seconds long. The camera is the old backyard one, the one that got turned to the fence. Except now it's pointed at the house again. The floodlight clicks on by itself. The back door opens slowly, and someone walks out wearing my gray hoodie, the one I thought I lost in the move. They stop in the middle of the yard, turn toward the camera, and pull the hood down just enough that the light hits their face. It's me. Same hair, same eyes, same terrified expression I see in the mirror every day. The person in the video raises one hand and waves, small, slow, like a child. Then they reach forward, and the clip ends. I don't know when that footage was taken. I don't know how it got on my laptop. I don't know who, or what, is living in my old house wearing my clothes and taking pictures with my cat. But sometimes, when it's really quiet, and I'm trying to fall asleep in my new 10th floor apartment, I swear I hear soft tapping on the window. 3 slow taps. And I wonder, what if the thing that was watching me never left the house? What if it just waited for me to leave, so it could become me? Sweet dreams, guys.